You did bring up, man, the two guys that got released as well, man. Zach Banner and Joe Schobert. Thoughts on both of those guys, man, in terms of being released, man?
Just makes sense.
Yep.
Schobert was like $8 or $9 million cap hit, and once
Mm-hmm.
we released him, basically got all that money back. I think outside of
Mm-hmm.
$1 million.
Yep.
So basically, just right there, that's a Schobert trade for Miles Jack. I think anyone in their right mind is doing that 100 times out of a
Mm-hmm.
hundred. And then
Yep.
Zach Banner sucks because
Yeah.
obviously friend of the show,
Mm-hmm.
but for $5 million with the
Yeah.
productivity he's brought to the team,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I see why the Steelers
Oh yeah,
want that
without a
cap
doubt,
space.
man. Without a doubt. Yeah.
And we just signed Chooks too. That's the other
Right.
thing. There's no way Zach Banner's going to be starting at right tackle anyway. So $5 million
Mm-hmm.
for a bench guy on the offensive line,
Yep.
you could spend that elsewhere with some of these receivers that are still out there. I don't know what they're going to be doing at safety, but
Right.
does
Right.
$5 million get you Terrell Edmonds back? I'd rather have
Yeah.
Terrell Edmonds than
I would
Zach
agree,
Banner on the
man. I would
bench.
definitely agree, man. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think just no
No, I
brainer, no
agree, man.
brainer
I
move.
thought that, man, both of the moves were necessary. And I thought the timing of it, man, really made a lot of sense when you talk about, because remember, they didn't release Joe Schobert at first. They were waiting, but then it was like, okay, you've got your upgrade in terms of Miles Jack. Well, now you're comfortable moving on from Joe Schobert. That makes sense to me. I like that a lot. We said, even going back to Banner, when we talked about the deal with Chooks, it was like, man, Chooks getting 10 mil a year. There isn't a competition anymore. Regardless of what happened 2 years ago, there isn't a competition when a guy's getting paid 10 mil. He's going to be the starter, right, wrong, or indifferent. So it made sense for the Steelers as well to move on from Banner, because you're saying to yourself, well, hey, how long were we without him last season? And we still felt like we could sub in this guy if we had to, or sub in that guy if we had to. But we also know that the Steelers still might draft the offense lineman as well. So you just have, better options, better ways to go about it from a cost perspective. And like you said, man, it sucks because, yeah, he was obviously a friend of the show and everything like that. But just because you're a friend of the show does not mean, you cannot get released. That's not how it works, unfortunately. So with that being
That's on the top priority list for
yeah,
who gets cut or who doesn't. Who's
yeah, I
on the
mean, it's like,
Archivist
yeah,
Experience with Deke podcast? That's what
you know,
Rooney's looking at.
I mean, how many times have we already said it? It's like, yo, you come on the show, you ball out. Akello, he came on the show. What happened? Interception, check. Okay, this is how it goes. We know this. Terrell Edmonds comes on the show, interception. It's like, yo, all right, let me find out. Like, this is what we do. So yes, Mr. Rooney be dialed in. He'd be like, hey, Arthur, is everything good over there with you and Deke? I'm like, yeah, Mr. Rooney, no worries at all. He's like, well, who's the guest this time? I'm just trying to think who we're going to feature on the offense or the defense this week. It's like, oh, it's Highsmith. Oh, okay, well, great, man. And I know Highsmith's going to have a great game then. Like, that's just how it goes right now. So, yes, he did. He might have called me. I was in a meeting, so that's why I missed it. It was one of the 412 numbers. But he definitely was like, yo, Mose, how do you feel about us having to move on from Banner? Is that okay with you? And I was like,
Oh
Mr.
man, so
Rooney.
you gave him the green light.
I said, Mr. Rooney.
What you said?
Mr. Rooney, man. I said, hey, man, if that's what needs to happen, man, I understand. Make him an offer he can't refuse. That's what I told him. Hung up the phone, man. After that, man, I read the news. It was like, Zach Banner, boom, release. Oh, no.
Oh, so
Sorry,
he
man.
misinterpreted. You were like,
Yeah,
it's cool to
yeah.
bring him back. We just,
You know
we
what I
just,
mean?
can we
I was like,
restructure it or something? That's what you were trying to say.
Instead, Mr. Rooney told him, hey, you get in the front seat. I'm going to sit behind you. We're going to take a little ride around the corner. And yeah, man, you know how that go. So, like I said, man, I was just telling him to make an offer he can't refuse. Like, yo, come back for this. Not, hey, let's take a ride in the car. But, sometimes words get, misinterpreted. It happens like that.
And he's a busy guy. You can't really
Exactly. I tried to
be
shoot him a
following up
text
with him like that.
afterwards. Yeah, by the time I got the news, I was like, oh, it's over. But yeah, that's the truth, man. That's the truth, man. That's how it goes.
Yeah, but those two moves just make
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, without a doubt,
We
man.
were
But
waiting for it.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
they waited till they brought in a guy to replace Schobert, as you said. And
Mhm.
I guess hopefully there's another move or two to be made in these next couple of
Yeah.
days, because it's either Edmonds,
Mhm.
Matthew, we get another receiver or two in here, but we
Yeah.
have the cap space for it.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. Without a doubt.